So without any further delay, I'll be bringing Dr. Sebi on.
Hello there. Thank you so very extremely much. And thank you for the introduction. I hope that I live up to all of that.
You have, Dr. Sebi. I still have those litmus paper strips. I had to buy 2 big bundles of them. And it's just so interesting because, I know it's one thing to know and to hear about if something is alkaline or acidic, but then it just puts it into a whole nother dimension when you're actually able to see the color of the litmus paper, like changes different colors, and to show you like what's really going on with your food that you're eating.
Once upon a time, we didn't need that. The reason why, remember, that took us away from where nature or God placed us in that environment that we live. We didn't need a nutritionist to hold our hands and said that this is good and this is bad. We knew that automatically. We knew what was good because that's all we had in our environment. The reason why they are not so good foods today is because in the 15th century, they began experimenting with hybrid things, artificial foods. We didn't have any artificial foods in our environment. What are artificial foods? All the starches, all the yams, all the rice and the beans. These things were made in a laboratory. We did not have that in our environment. So we didn't have to be checking and double checking. And because of that, there weren't any disease. Disease began with acid foods. We didn't have any acid foods in our environment. It was all alkali. This is why when you buy a battery that has energy, on it is written alkali, not acid. The funny thing about that, though, that the very thing that is used against us, which is the word savage, secretly we assimilated that word, and we don't want to be identified with that word. There is nothing that we want to do about doing, no, there's nothing that we want to do that would identify us with the savage. You see, the historians, the early historians, Europeans that is, when they wrote about us, they said that we were naked and that we were savages. But they didn't notice that the savage didn't have any alcohol or prostitution. The savage didn't have any artificial foods. But he didn't have any hospitals nor doctors. He didn't have any disease. So the savage lived and he died from old age. Now we die because of disease, not old age. There's a big difference now. That very word that was used against us, and many of us probably feel offended by it, is the very word that gives us the crown of being a decent human being. Yes, my mother didn't have any religion. My mama didn't have any rice and beans and cows and chickens. My mama didn't have any drugs. My mama didn't have any money. So when you total all of that, you begin to see that she was the righteous one. But she was the one that was said to be the savage. And now we are ashamed of that. Well, I'm not. I am the son of the savage. But let us revisit the savage. And we're going to find that if we live today the way the savage lived, we would be healthier, number one, and we wouldn't need any money. But those people that invented money now have caused a lot of problems. Because if you don't have any money, you are not going to eat. You're not going to be sheltered. If you don't have any money, you better not get old. You better not get sick. But when the savage gets sick, you have the community. You have the community to respond to him. That community no longer exists. I got mine, you better get yours. So you see, we need to revisit the savage.